Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video. Now last night's video I uploaded, in my opinion, the top 5 weapons. I also talked about some honorable mentions of the top, 5, and then I give a couple on the end, and they're like the 6th and 7th best guns, in my opinion, in this game after patch 1.09 and after, of course, the DLC weapons have been added. And of course, because of that, I wanted to make a video here where I basically take those 5 guns and talk about 5 very, very nice class setups that are, similar and some exact to setups that I am using throughout my prestiges, and basically talking about where I would change certain things, why I would rock this versus that, and just talk about what I think are the 5 best class setups for these 5 best guns, and as well as other stuff as well. So if you guys could smack a like in this video, that'd be much, much appreciated. Smack that like button, I would appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, that'd be awesome as well. It takes half a second, hit that like button, smash it down below, and let's get right into it. So, this is my KN57 class. Now, some of these class setups are going to be ones you've seen before. However, I have changed my mind on certain things and started to mix up on certain class setups. So this is one of my, I made a video on this previously, and I said this was my favorite class setup in the game, or my personal best class setup, and this is still one of my top used ones. This is the exact setup that I will use in-game many, many times. The reason why I love this setup is, first of all, the attachments that are available on the KN are just beautiful. Hybrid mag, stock, and rapid fire. Does it get much better? And then a lot of people I see saying, why do you always use an ELO? Why do you always use ELO? Why do you use sights on guns that have awesome default sights? And my reasoning behind that is, sure, the can, I could take it off and just run the default sight, but that you can see I'm at 9 out of 10 here. Where am I going to put that 10th slot? Do I want to throw on a secondary pistol? That doesn't really give me much. I can change out my equipment, but then I lose my specialist equipment. I can't throw on an extra perk because I need a wild card. I can't throw on an extra attachment because I need a wild card. So that's why you see me rock a lot of ELO sights. And this is a class setup that I don't want to spend too much time on because this is not a new one. This is the KN. It's been in, I think it's a top 5 gun in this game right now. And I see people saying, why did you always talk about the KN? Trust me, use this setup, give it a try. You'll like it out. I think you will. Comsec device to get streaks, tac mask, gung ho, and dead silence. Next is the Saug 9mm. And like I said, these are the 5 weapons that I'm going to be giving class setups for today, are the 5 weapons that I talked about in my last video. And I talked about a little bit of the attachments, so you'll see the similarities coming through. But if you want to hear the reasons why I explain why each of these guns are top 5 in the game and how to use them, that you guys should check out my video from yesterday talking about the best guns after the 1.09 update. But here's my Saug 9mm class setup. Now, this class setup is with the Saug, I've always been mixing up the setups, and personally I like to run the Great Line sometimes, but these 3 attachments usually stay the same. Fast mags, quick draw, and then grip. ELO sight is just thrown in there just because, like I said, I have an extra slot. Stim shot works great, I think, with a rushing SMG. And engineer, I think this is where engineer can come in handy when you are rushing, so you can watch out for when enemies have something like a mantis, different things like that, or when, any sort of streak, or the main thing is, different mesh mines and stuff. Engineer can actually be kind of helpful, and this first tier perk slot is by far the most competitive still in this game. And of course, I like updating my class setups and talking about what I've been using lately, because the game evolves, the meta evolves, and I evolve as a player as well, and just everything does with multiplayer. So any 4 of these first perks work great. If you run, a lot of people say that why don't I run Scavenger also? The main reason I don't rock Scavenger a lot is because I'm running the Crash Specialist, so you don't really need Scavenger with that. But if you want to run a different sort of Specialist, I would throw Scavenger on here. However, Engineer is something that I think it's kind of, I don't know if it's underrated or just, it's kind of sucks in this game because these 4 perks are great, but then you get into these other perks, and just some of them just cold-blooded, skulker, lightweight. I mean, this perk slot isn't very competitive, and neither is this one, so it's kind of a shame, I guess you could say, with that. But yeah, that's what I rock for the Saug 9mm. This one also, I will sometimes, of course, I have the Mastercraft variant for it, so sometimes I'll slap that on, and the Great Line, I made a video with that the other day, or of course, just go with the classic Diamond camo, which looks pretty snazzy on the Saug 9mm. Next, let's get into number 3. This is my ABR class setup. Now, a lot of people are sort of disagreeing with me on taking the ABR over something like, the other tactical rifles. And while, you should really listen to my reasoning in the last video, because I say, statistically, the Swordfish is better. Even the Auger, is very, very good. But the thing that the ABR has that those guns don't have is 2 things. Number 1, stock. I personally cannot really play without stock. Like when I use a swordfish, and I think I'll have a swordfish video coming up soon, maybe, because I've been playing with it quite a bit lately with the pentaburst and stuff, and I think that gun is great. But without stock, you're sort of hung out to dry up close, and having stock changes the game. It allows you to strafe on people and to actually make this gun more maneuverable, a tactical rifle that can actually do something at medium to close range. And then I run the ABR repeater, which allows each successive burst to fire with shorter delays. The trigger is held down, which gives you the nice ability to hold down the trigger as you're using this weapon instead of having to constantly tap to burst, which can get annoying on something like the Daemon or the Demon SMG. And on something like this, you hold it down and the fire rate's ramping up, and then you have, like you saw here with the extended mags, 30 plus 12, you have a lot of shots to go off. And this is the multi-kill machine in a game where 150 health and the time to kills are, you know, of course, longer than other games. This can be your savior, and this can do big damage. Once again, with an elo sight, with these ones, there's no choice, because look, the default sight on a tactical rifle, I'm sure most of you guys know this by now, but it comes with a sort of a weird sight on it. So you sort of have to pick something, and I don't really know. Does anyone really use holographic in this game? I don't know why you really would use it. Personally, I think that I mean, maybe if you can customize the dot on it, I guess. But look, that dot is, to me, a lot uglier. Oh, and look, they're going to have reticles and black market too. I'm just noticing that right now. Probably coming later. But yeah, you can see that. You can cycle the color. But that's just definitely not as nice as what you get with a reflex sight, or in my personal opinion, the elo sight. And you can cycle through the colors here too. Definitely a lot of stuff you can do. Very interesting. I like this customization. Of course, they're going to have reticles, it looks like, coming later. But that's what I rock with. Thing about this class setup is because I have so many damn attachments on it. I have the operator mod, I have 2 attachments, and then a sight. I definitely have to give up my perk 3, and I rock with Tac Mask and Gung Ho, perk 1, and then perk 2. Next here is going to be the Daemon or the Demon 3XB, and this is the new SMG into the game. It's a 3-round burst submachine gun with a fast rate of fire with improved hipfire accuracy, and I really do think this gun has a spot near the top weapons in the game, but this weapon isn't for everyone, and it's much like the ABR. Burst guns aren't for everyone, and that's why I realize some people aren't going to like these two. If you can get the hang of them, though, they are monsters. This one, you can't hold down the trigger. You have to spam that trigger, and the delay on it is so minimal, especially when you do those first 2 bursts. The time to kill is so quick. If you can get a 2-burst kill, which to get, it's kind of difficult. You have to land every shot. But the setup I run around this, because you don't really need much attachments when it comes in hand in with this. Basically, steady grip looks appealing, but it's only during hip fire. Hybrid mags can be nice. However, I just rock with the fast mags for just the instant reloads. This one has one of the fastest reloads in the game with fast mags, I think. And then high caliber doesn't allow you to actually get 1 burst kills, of course, because that would be ridiculously OP, but it does allow 1 burst to do like 80 or 90% of their health, and you can get 1 burst kills on people that are already damaged all the time with high caliber. Elo sight. And then with this one, here's one where, of course, I left acoustic center up here. Personally, I probably would just rock comsec and go for streaks, but if you want to rush and go for gun kills, you can go stim shot. If you want to, body armor and equipment charge really don't have that much of a place in the multiplayer core meta like I'm talking about here, especially equipment charge. I think that's that one really doesn't have a place pretty much anywhere, but acoustic sensor could be something that works great on this setup, because this setup you're going with a very strong gun that doesn't need too much around it, and then you're decking out on the perks. And this is whenever I'm running with just 2 attachments instead of 3, I'll usually double up on the most competitive perk slot. Perk 1, flak jacket, tac mask, and then you see gung ho, and then you see dead silence. Very, very good stuff here with the Daemon. I realize not everyone has this SMG because this is unlocked at a later time. This is of course unlocked at level 50 on the battle pass, but like I said, you know, this can be swapped out for if you want to run a different sort of setup and you want to run maybe something else with only 2 attachments. You can do this with like an MX9, slap on an elo, and then slap on a hybrid mags and a long barrel or something. Like, there's different things you can do this, but we're keeping it to the top weapons, and that's why, of course, that Daemon, which by the way, it looks so ugly looking through the weapons, like you can't even see the name of it right there, but that's why this one is very nice to go. Not the compact scope, the elo sight on this one as well, high caliber, and then the fast mags, which is 100% needed on this fast mags. You'll also notice that whenever I have a 3rd perk, it's usually dead silence, and whenever I have a 2nd perk, it's pretty much always gung ho. Self-explanatory. Look what Gung Ho does for you. Fires your weapon and use equipment while sprinting, recover from sprint faster, and move at full speed while reloading. That does a lot more than any of these other ones. Dexterity is nice as well, but Gung Ho just coming out of a sprint and that recovery time with the amount of gunfights you're taking over and over and over in Call of Duty multiplayer is huge and very impactful. And then the fifth one is of course the Maddox, and this one, the reason why I left this first perk open is because this is the best class up in the game. If there's money on the line and I had to put my best performance forward, I would go with the Maddox. This one can be used with the Echo Fire operating mod, which I like to run sometimes on it. But I definitely think that the Echo Fire is hit or miss, whether you like it or not. But this gun auto is pretty much enjoyed by everyone. Elo, fast mags, quick draw, and then stock. And then perk 1, you can see here, Gung Ho, Dead Silence, ComSec device, everything's looking good. Perk 1, honestly, I would take either Flak Jacket or Tac Mask. I would run with the Crash Specialist, and I would swap these out. What I would do is take this class up, and then I would basically copy the class to another class up and make one of each, right? So you'd have one with Flak, one with Tac Mask. So then when you get into the games, and maybe even make a third one with Scavenger, if the enemies are running the Battery Specialist or running grenades, you just start off with Tac Mask one, for example, or start off with whichever one you want. If they're destroying you with grenades, you switch over to Flak Jacket. If they're destroying you with 9 bags, concussions, razor wires, reactor cores, seekers, tempest fire, and counter UAV, you switch over to Tac Mask. So you can basically, these perks are both very strong and both probably some of not the best perks in the game. The best perk in the game is Gung Ho, but some of the top perks in this game. And that, just having, this is always the try hard way to do it. Having 2 is definitely a try hard way to do it. And then of course the Titan, because Titan is honestly, Titan is close to being it's right there. If it's not in your top 5, it's usually right there at number like 6 or so, like it is for me. The thing with the Titan is its time to kill is just, it's consistent and it's nice, but you're going to get destroyed by a Maddox up close, or, a KN up close, or an SMG up close. You really don't have too much of a chance, and that's why this is sort of gives you more of a chance, especially because this was nerfed in the latest patch update with the flinch mitigation. It's still decently effective, but not as much. Your first thing you'll notice is, why am I running a Reflex instead of Elo? There's no Elo available, but I slap on the Operator mod here with the Oppressor, and this one shakes up their screen as you're shooting around them. You should check out my video. It's called They Can't Shoot Back, and I was using this one. Quick draw, stock, and then of course with this one, it's another one where you have to swap out that third perk, but this is it's like the same setup as my ABR setup, but instead we're going with the Titan and we're going with stock and quick draw. Reason why I rock those two is because you sort of need stock and quick draw to speed this weapon up, and if this weapon didn't have stock, I probably wouldn't use it because it would be just so hard to use. But because of the stock and the quick draw and how they increase the mobility, and the Oppressor being a very nice operator mod, this gun is very solid to use. And hopefully you guys did enjoy these top setups in the game. Like I said, honorable mention, there's a bunch of other really good guns in this game. The Swordfish, the Auger. I think I've been playing with the Swordfish. Should have a video coming up on that sometime in the future. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys could smack a like on this thing, I would really appreciate that. Smack that like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Like I said, this is probably the best class up in the game right now, and it has been for a while. But a lot of these ones, there wasn't an SMG has just been on my list lately, and then I added the other SMG, which was the Daemon 3XB. I added the ABR just because of how nice I think this weapon is with the repeater and the stock in this meta. And I also have a cool Mastercraft for it, which was unlocked from the Battle Pass as well, or the Contraband stream. Anyway, drop a like, guys, if you guys did enjoy it. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe if you guys are new. Have a great night. And those are some of my best class ups that you guys will see me using in videos, and sort of my thought process behind them. Drop a like, subscribe. I'm out. Peace. Check out some of my other vids, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. I'm out. Peace.